Hello and welcome to Wake and Jake, a special playoff edition as we are in the CS's. The Seattle Mariners are up 1-0 on the Toronto Blue Jays as we record this, although that might change soon. It's about 3 p.m. They're going to start playing at 5 p.m., so very interesting tones whether Seattle can take the first two, go back to Seattle with a chance to win 2 out of 3 home games to go to the World Series for the first time ever? What's that about?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And meanwhile, Toronto and all of the flowers they got for destroying the Yankees and having an amazing season, tied for the most wins in the American League. You go down 1-0 at home after dominating the first 5 innings of that game. It's going to be interesting to see. It's baseball, as you guys all know. You're welcome for the confirmation on that. Toronto could win 10-1 tonight and change the whole narrative of everything. We'll check in on that in a second. We do have game 1 of Milwaukee hosting the Dodgers, which this one is the test. Whoever comes out of Seattle and Toronto, we're going to point at their franchise and say they did a lot of things right. It's their time, and they deserve it. Like Seattle, all of the young pitching they harvested. Is that a word we can use in baseball? Sure. All the young pitching they've harvested. Julio and Cal Raleigh are studs that they have harvested and then extended. Like they're doing everything right. Center field and catcher strength up the middle, people. They had a big deadline. That the Mariners, it's been a talented team. Maybe the bigger problem had been Houston that finally fell off this year, and even Texas that had been rolling out a big budget. Seattle gets their moment in the sun or the rain in the great Northwest. It would be like this is a team that we haven't seen go, but we understand why they went. They've got a signature closer. Like a lot of these teams that are remaining in the bullpen, if you can't tap into bullpen pitching or any other sort of pitching, you kind of ain't making it this far, especially in today's baseball. So, Seattle, it would all make sense. Toronto, over 30 years since Joe Carter happened. And Toronto, this season that was an ultimate pivot point. It was, is Vladdy going to stay, or is he going to be the premier free agent? How much are they willing to offer him? Their kind of veteran pitching staff, could it hold up? I think there was some of that conversation before the season that sometimes you see some of the old dogs and they're not going to make it completely through the year. And they've dealt with a little of that as we've gone into the postseason, but they didn't really need it as they got through the Yankees in 4 games. Gossman's been fantastic. And Savage that we're going to see in this game too. The last time we saw him, 5.1 hitless against the New York Yankees. So that is a storyline to watch for sure. But Toronto, they've done a lot right. Whether it was bringing in George Springer originally, whether it was the Andres Jimenez trade in the offseason, which everyone looked at and was like, man, where that contract starts going? And it might be Bo Bichette insurance, as we've seen Jimenez playing some shortstop in this postseason. And the way he can play defense, it makes it a lot easier to defend that contract potentially. They spent a lot of money on Anthony Santander, who we just heard is out of the lineup tonight with back stuff, and basically had a lost season. But they brought in a lot of arms. They extended Barrios, and he hasn't been a factor. So it's kind of funny, a lot of the things you're looking for, like bringing in guys, paying the guys. For Toronto, the story of this year has just been their whole offensive profile, the George Springer bounce back. They had Bichette through the season. They've tapped into a lot of interesting guys. Ernie Clement was such a thorn in the side of the Yankees. Nathan Lucas, same. And BBD, see if you can get an update on, is he in the lineup today?
I believe, I can pull up the lineup. I think they got Davis Schneider in there today.
Okay.
Lucas is in there as well. They're the 2 guys in the corners.
Okay. So he's playing the outfield.
Yes. Springer DHing Lucas
okay.
in right. Vladdy, Barger, Kirk, Varsho, Clement, Schneider, and left Jimenez at short.
Good for him, man, because that foul ball right off the top of his knee. But Lucas is a guy that didn't get called up to the big leagues until he was 30. Him and Ernie Clement's been up, but opportunity and performance haven't led to where he's at now. That it's an interesting mix. The Dalton Varsho trade that kind of looked sus for a few years there, that's starting to pay off for them. And, yeah, they had the best record in the AL, and their approach that I've ranted and raved about, and I'll talk about more when we get to the Milwaukee Brewers, it's clearly different, and it's something that baseball somewhat told us couldn't be executed anymore. Bryce Miller in his heroic start yesterday, 6 innings, only 3 strikeouts. They put the ball in play, and I think last night is the worst example of it. All 3 Mariner relievers, I'd never seen this in a box score, 8 pitches only. Yeah, 3 innings, 8 pitches only. And this is kind of the new postseason thing. If you're facing a strikeout pitcher, which, spoiler, if you're facing any pitcher who they're giving the ball to in the postseason, they're kind of a strikeout pitcher, that they're trying to attack these guys before 2 strikes. So we're not seeing a ton of working the count, or guys are too scared to get behind in the count that they are hunting that first pitch over the plate and trying to put a good swing on it. I have some evolving theories around that with postseasons going forward, but let's see a little more sample size. Because the last 2 baseball games we've played, it was Mariners, Blue Jays, which George Springer with the leadoff homer, Cal Raleigh with the tying homer, and then Jorge Polanco have a postseason. I'm debating digging up some old tweets or our old Yankees offseason plan because I wanted me some Jorge Polanco. People forget. Hit everywhere he went before he went to Seattle last year. The same as like Teoscar, Eugenio. I know Mariners fans hate that because I think the weighted runs created plus and stuff with Seattle are fine, but
there's levels to the Seattle struggles.
Overall, it's the worst place he's hit. That's what I'll say. And good for him for re-signing there because that kind of felt like the couple you knew that you're like, are things good with you guys? And they moved back in. Let's do it again. Both of those stories make sense to us, and one of them will be going to the World Series. And, yeah, after 1 game, it's hard to not assume that Seattle has the leg up because they won a road game. But as we well know, I'm sure this series has a ton of other loops and twists to turn through. Nice. Good roller coaster thing. With Milwaukee and LA, it's bigger than baseball, or at least that's what Jeff Passan's article will tell you. And before I get into that and the series, I want to tell you guys about, I think, our presenting sponsor now, Arena Club. That's right, people. I just ripped a couple packs with Shelfie, and it was easy. And I'll be honest, the ad reads kind of got me hyped. October baseball is about big swings and clutch moments. Arena Club brings that same excitement to card collecting. Ripping a pack during the postseason feels just like watching Judge go yard or Ohtani shutting down a lineup. I don't know what I'm supposed to give away from the me and Shelfie video, but we ripped, they've got some serious packs. You can go anywhere $25 to $1,000+. We did a $100 pack and a $1,000 pack, and we got cards that may have exceeded the value of that. I won't get in the way of Shelfie's content there. But if you're in the card game, Arena Club's where you want to go. If you haven't been in the card game, Arena Club is the best place to do it. Whether you're starting a collection or building it like a dynasty team, don't just watch October baseball. Collect it. Go to arenaclub.com/WakeandJake. Use code WakeandJake to get 20% off your first slab pack. The Dodgers versus the Brew Crew. If you've been in the baseball world, you know these are 2 teams that have been operating differently. The Milwaukee have now joined the likes of the Tampa Bay Rays and the Cleveland Guardians as well-respected franchises for succeeding without having while being a bottom 10 payroll. Milwaukee, we've run through it all year, what they've been in the NL Central going back to 2017 or so. They have a formula that starts with pitching, leads into defense, which, by the way, wasn't that the secret with Cleveland? And hasn't that been the missing part from the Rays? The Rays pitching has been there. Their defense has been sus. Dude, it used to suck playing the Rays.
They used to be, they'll defend.
Wow. That's hilarious. The fact that we just ignored defense in baseball. I know we didn't ignore defense in baseball, but we kind of did.
It was not prioritized.
No offense to Mike Moustakas playing second base, but it's just the first move that everyone was like, wait. And did the Brewers sign him to do that? So anyways, or no, that was the Reds, right?
The Brewers, I think, traded for him and were messing around with some of that, and the Reds gave him the deal.
The Reds gave him the contract to play second base. With Milwaukee, Moose mostly played third. Okay. With a hint of second, I want to make sure.
The next year, more third than second.
So that's what it was. Milwaukee threw him at second. He started 40 games there as like a, let's see if this works. Cincinnati signed him to basically play second. And I don't know if he should be the example. We love Malibu Mike, or at least Trev really does. Wow, $99 million playing baseball.
Woo!
Wow. 215 homers. Those Kansas City boys did it right. Hosmer and Moose. Good for them. Anyways, Milwaukee has not won a World Series. I think Passan said 57 years of existing in this shape or form. A lot of ugly recent postseason memories. The Trent Grisham off the glove to Harper. Devin Williams to Pete Alonso. This was their first postseason win since 2018. That, I don't know. I know we have a lot of friends in the Milwaukee organization that there is a part of postseason baseball that is luck. It's 5 games. 1 or 2 pitches can send you the wrong way. Ask Toronto after last night. Kevin Gossman, Cal Raleigh fouls off a splitter in the dirt. Am I going to double up that splitter in the dirt and hope he goes for it again? Or am I going to throw a high fastball? He tries for the splitter in the dirt. It stays over the plate, doesn't split. He hits a game-tying home run, changed the whole tenor of that game. That's kind of... These are how zoomed into the moments we get in these games with all the elite pitching talent on the field and how these games are getting decided. That Milwaukee was definitely questioning things a little bit. Like, is it luck? Is our formula a 162 formula that doesn't pay off come the postseason? They beat the Cubbies with their former manager across the way, their bigger payroll, their trade for Kyle Tucker, and they get it done at home, which home field advantage is something I am rooting for this postseason, and the real Waken Jakers know that I had a moment of panic heading into the postseason where I was like, the most dictative stat that I saw on expanded standings was home record. Like, a lot of good teams are really good at home. It's really hard to be good on the road. I think there was 5 teams with winning records on the road or something like that. I could look that up. I won't right now because I'm feeling it. The Dodgers, I think, and Brother Jeff highlights this beautifully in the article, and go read it. Go read articles. That's kind of the only place I get my form of reading. I think I have to get into it. People that talk about reading that read are like, you have to read.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, feels like a good thing.
It's a good trait.
Tell me what to read.
Comment something to read.
Put the phone down before bed. That makes sense to me. The Brewers have technically one free agent on their playoff roster. One MLB free agent on their playoff roster. And that's Jose Quintana, who's technically 1 year, $4 million, I think. He has an option for next year that I think is like 14. So it's a little like Brewers devil magic.
He was waited around a shockingly. Yeah. Was that after opening day they signed him?
Any team could have had him. I don't think it was. I don't think it got that
very end.
because he ended up pitching 24 starts, 131.2 innings.
Signed March 5th, so he was there for spring.
Up against it. That is their only MLB free agent. They have a bunch of trades. They have a bunch of drafted. They have a handful of minor league free agents, Rule 5 AAA. But yeah, that is their one free agent signing. Now, where things do get a little deceptive in baseball, the Dodgers are on the other side, and they have the biggest payroll. With Ohtani's contract, it's one of the most creative, interesting contracts we'd probably seen in sports. A guy that literally deferred a ton of money because he has a lot of income flow from other ad deals and things like that he says, well, I'm playing baseball. I want to win. And L.A., that I think they've won the division 12 out of 13 years. The only time is the Buster Posey Miracle San Francisco Giants when they put up 107. These Dodgers, they win. And they do it with a big budget while also doing everything right. I don't want to turn the lens away from the Dodgers that have turned Max Muncy into an incredible baseball player. Will Smith came up through their system, and he's been one of the best catchers. Andy Pages put together a really strong year from the center field position. They've tapped into pitchers for years. They were one of the early tap into pitchers teams that, young Jack Dreyer, Ben Kasparius, Emmett Sheehan, all guys that have come up with them. Jack Dreyer was non-drafted. What do you do with that? There's a lot of rounds. August of 21, non-drafted free agent. So, Dodgers do everything the other good orgs do. They do everything that Cleveland, Milwaukee, and Tampa used to do. They do that. Great coaching. They're invested in their minor leagues. They do all the stuff that you kind of need to do. The difference, Shohei Ohtani, they signed him as a free agent. Teoscar Hernandez, free agent. Freddie Freeman, free agent. Their pitching staff now, Blake Snell, Yamamoto, Ohtani again. Reminder, he does that. Glasnow was a trade, but extended with those Tampa Bay Rays. So, Roki Sasaki in their bullpen, international free agent.
Mm-hmm.
It's for some reason you kind of expect it to be more players. I guess I listed a lot of names, but it gets tricky because Tyler Glasnow doesn't count as a free agent signing, but they traded for him and extended him for hundreds of millions.
Part of what the trade is there.
Mookie Betts traded to the Dodgers, extended. If you start counting points a little differently, it starts becoming a little more glaring. That's something I've been adamant about. Hey, these two teams are going to play 7 games. During the regular season, they played 6. Milwaukee swept all 6. There's a lot of different ways this series could go. I think the teams are fairly well matched up. The Brewers can go pitch for pitch with any team, and their lineup has been fantastic. Obviously, it's a little bit, you're not leaning on as many guys as the Dodgers are. When that Dodgers lineup flips, man, and it's Shohei, Mookie, Freddie, I know Shohei didn't have a big hitting series last series, but I wouldn't bet against him this series. So, either team could win this series. Again, I kind of hope home field advantage wins, and I'm sure my Dodgers fans aren't excited for me to hear that, but they're also not surprised. Milwaukee's been nice to us as a franchise. I kind of don't want the Dodgers to repeat, so that is where I'm at. It's just being honest.
We're just saying what we want to happen.
One of the last cool things the Yankees kind of have is saying that they're the last back-to-back champions in a sport, and it's coming up on 25 years, so I don't know. Part of me kind of likes that. And Dodger fans, you guys can be tough, man. We got enough people dunking on us. Toronto's dunking on us before their ALCS game. Joe's McFly has spent most of his day DMing me Yankee videos of people just dunking on the Yankees. I don't like that. I told him, please stop sending these. He said, okay, I'll send you the old stuff. The old stuff are old caving videos that I hate. And I said, I'd actually rather have the Yankees getting dunked on than the caving videos, he said. This person was stuck in a cave, unable to move for 72 hours. The water started to come in, and that's when things got dangerous. Jesus Christ. Do not send me that, Joes.
None of it feels safe.
Nobody send me that. And if that's your hobby, you're out. You're out. You can do anything else. Hike above the ground.
You can be outdoorsy. You can do it outdoors.
Go scuba diving in like the open water. Why do you have to go into a cave that gets flooded and doesn't have enough room to get through? I don't get it. I don't like it. Humans are too bored.
The one thing that the internet really does get right is every time caving comes up, the tweet you see is the best part about caving is you don't got to do it.
Yes. 100%. 100%. That, however this series goes, which is crazy unfair, but it's just how the world works. The world's not fair, reminder, could potentially have major implications on the upcoming labor negotiations. So some of you care about that super. Some of you don't care about it at all. I think the older you get, the more you care about it, which originally, if I heard that as a kid, I'd be like, oh, good. I don't need to care about this at all. It is crazy when you start sinking your teeth in how much it just generally affects things that are happening. Whether it's, I had no clue that the stacked teams in like the 90s, like, could you imagine? There was a lot of baseball players that were on the Yankees or the Braves that got like trapped and didn't have a way out.
That's just the team you were on, and that was it.
The Yankees and the Braves were like, well, we want our depth. So there was really good players at AAA and stuff that could have got opportunities elsewhere that were in the minors until they were like 30, and that was kind of it. So it's kind of crazy there's stuff like that goes on, other labor contract negotiations, and little things that pop up that end up affecting the sport that you care about. Because if you still care about your team as an adult, it helps kind of dictate what you think is going to happen with your team going forward. So what I laid out with the Dodgers and the Brewers, and this ends up being a lose-lose for the players, which is a kind of classic whenever it comes down to labor negotiations, or at least this is my opinion of it. For the players, if the Dodgers win, it feels like that actually is going to piss off the owners more, because the owners have always wanted a salary cap. And I guess if you've never heard this, subscribe. Welcome. Wake and Jake, the channel's doing well. Thank you, guys. Postseason, we out here, yeah. Going back to early Talking Baseball days with Trevor Plouffe, John Boy, BBD, when we were the #1 labor pod in the world, coming out of 2020 and into the labor negotiations. Back-to-back labor negotiations as they had to negotiate going into 2020 and then out of 2020. Oh, my God. Never again. /
next year. About
this time next year. So get ready. I was always perplexed because Trevor Plouffe, a.k.a. Trevor Goof, I didn't understand, and it was so funny, man. I watched him and Dalton have this conversation, and it was funny because about 4 years ago, I was Dalton, where he was like, Trev, like, don't you think it would be worthwhile to have a floor, even if that brought in a salary cap? And it's an interesting conversation because it's funny, every other sport has a cap. And so we never hear the convo, right? Like it's not on the table.
It's been decided lifetimes ago.
And it would be really interesting. I mean, my God, if the NBA didn't have a salary cap, think of some of LeBron's free agencies. Insane. And I don't know. I guess when you're zoomed out and you think about the sport, because one of the things I love about sports is that it's fair, right? Like when the Milwaukee Brewers and the Dodgers step on the field today, everything's fair. Same ball. Use your gloves. Use your bats. We're all playing by the same rules. Whoever wins this 9-inning game, you win this game. Doesn't matter if you're from Milwaukee or LA or Japan or Georgia or wherever you're from. Here's the rules. Play the game. One of you wins today. That's the deal. That, for the betterment of the sport, having a salary floor would make a lot of sense. That some of these teams that are dragging their salaries, what are we doing? It makes it near impossible to compete. And I know you guys know I'm a big Russillo guy. Like some of the bottom payrolls now for teams don't compete in like the 2000s. The Nats, am I reading this right? I don't think I am. Oh, I think this might be 2026. Let's see. Coming into this season, I think the White Sox were around 78. What order? Oh, they have this sorted by record. I respect that in a way, but I also don't. Let's see. Miami, 67. This is from Spotrac. Or is it Spot Rack? Nobody's ever known.
Nobody fully knows.
This has Miami at 67, the White Sox at 78, the Athletics at 79, Pittsburgh at 84, Tampa Bay at 87. If you're bringing in a salary floor, what is the salary floor? Is that 100? Because that would just bring 5 teams that basically would sign one player, and then they'd hit it. And what does that do for the greater good? Has that really made the sport better? If you made it 150 mil, that brings in the bottom 13 teams, I think. And so, I don't know. There's a lot of money distributed there. And what's the cap? Is the cap 350? That's where the Dodgers are. Is the cap 300? Is the cap... think about all the football conversations or NBA too, that now with the cap, it actually brings in a lot of complicated stuff. Or how many times do you hear about, this football team's in a pretty rough cap spot. They're going to have to get rid of a couple guys. And, we hear that every offseason.
Like football, like your favorite team in football cuts a good player who is performing just middle of the contract. And
it kind of works, like, because they have their draft picks pay off a lot more instantly and have a lot more value. They can restructure contracts, which always seems like the easy route for quarterbacks and stuff because the quarterbacks just get paid more up front and it helps the team. But yeah, that would be that would be a side effect from MLB that we haven't really talked about in this is like, hey, your left fielder you like that makes 15 mil, but maybe they need to replace him take a chance on a minor league guy. That would be for the upper echelon teams those would be less fun conversations. Or, I don't know, if it gets so complicated, look where the NBA is at with trades and the cap. You got to be lost in it, man.
If there starts being, like, real rules to how trades got to happen, like, I'm, like, kind of into that stuff, and NBA is sort of lost me on, like, speculating on trades before it's done.
NBA trade machine used to be hype, and now it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, you're the second apron, and they can take on more, so now you got to bring in a fourth team, and it used to be...
That trade literally can't happen.
It used to be like a cool distraction. Like, what a better way to distract yourself for 15 minutes than the NBA trade machine, and now it's like, I don't...
Like talking about NBA trades went from, like, talking about how to make your team better to you have to be well-versed in, like, minutia.
Oh, yeah. Like, just to throw out an NBA trade is so obnoxious. Like, it's almost, you're like, oh, what are you talking about, dude? There's no way that works.
There's no taking on this salary. This trade's just not legal.
The fact you can't be at a bar and be like, do you think the Hawks should trade Trae Young for Kawhi? Like, you can't say that to anyone that's a real NBA fan. Because you're like, well, okay, so now let's look and, we've got to well, they can't add any money. And it's just like, okay, that rant got a little lost, but I think you guys see what I'm saying. It's kind of a good thing we don't have to worry about that in baseball at all, either of those things. Mm-hmm. And by the way, this whole episode and everything's been brought to you by Nike. Quick shout out to Nike. Are you guys familiar? Big in playoff baseball. And if you're going to get Nike, why don't you click our link in the description? I wear Nike shoes every day. They're Nike. They're Nike. You're going to get their stuff, so click our link in the description. The other thing that ended up being game over for me is for the top of the cap. And, hey, we have to talk to keep that convo even going, you have to find what is the cap and what is the floor. Because in my head, even like fake having this conversation, like the Dodgers are at the top and it's 350, so you'd have to figure that would be the cap. I don't know. Right? Like, how's that combo even go? I have no clue. If you're more educated than me, please comment below. Maybe they'd make it 400 million. Like
some sort of transition while we're going from zero cap to
no clue,
some
right?
cap.
No clue. Interested.
How much does it go up every year?
And then what is the floor? I just gave you the two roundest numbers that stood out to me. 100, I kind of wouldn't affect the game at all, and I thought it would. 150, okay, that gets more involved. That maybe the floor is a lot higher, and maybe that's the answer. Maybe it's 400 and 200. And if every team had to have 200 million, what would that look like for the sport? I don't really know. Would it be better parity? Maybe, probably. We've seen that in a lot of other sports, but baseball also, Toronto, in a way we didn't expect them to be here this year. Milwaukee wasn't expected to be here this year. A lot of people thought it was go Cubs go. It wasn't in Game 5. The thing that changed my stance on it forever, because, again, I was like, man, the players in baseball are so for the players, and, you know, the cool stories that came from the lockout. I think, like, I forget if Max Scherzer was paying all the minor league players when baseball was locked out. Like, baseball has enough super rich players, and the players are so for the players that I think they're better suited to stand a lockout than they ever were before. And that kind of happened last time, although the players didn't do so good in that deal. That the players not being capped is their strongest thing they have, and they will never let it go. And look at Shohei's contract, $700 million. So much of it deferred, and I know the deferment stuff. Maybe we need to put that on the table, depending how things go the next couple years. In a way, I don't care. If the Dodgers win, maybe I do care a little more. Like, maybe we just need a way that it makes more sense. I don't know. Maybe we don't.
Maybe just whatever the firm rules are going to be, just lay it out.
Maybe the Dodgers are going to have some dark years in the 30s because they defer a bunch of money, and we say, wow, they traded a couple ships, and now the Dodgers are having their first bad time in a long time. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that money isn't going to affect the Dodgers at all because the way that money feels like it's multiplying in our lifetime is just crazy. Like, it's nuts. I don't know. Concert tickets now? It blows my mind every time I bring up concert tickets. It's like, what? I got to pay $500 to get in the building for Young Miko and Billie Eilish? Sick. I don't think I'm going to that show. I've thought about it.
You looked at the prices.
I looked at the prices. That's a reveal. That's on me. Been looking for a concert.
SeatGeek JM playoffs.
Yeah. Look at Shohei's contract. With a salary cap, that doesn't happen. And maybe some of you are screaming and yelling. Toronto and Vladdy. Vladdy got $500 million. Maybe that doesn't happen. So again, when you start coming from this from the player's side, like, look at those old man pitchers that kept setting the bar for each other when it was Scherzer and Verlander that kept pushing us into like the 40 mils now. the good players, when they hit free agency and how they can push the envelope, the players are never going to give that up because it allows someone like Shohei Ohtani to come in with Shohei, he had the Japanese market that brings in more money. Good-looking cat, kind of matters. He's the first two-way player since Babe Ruth, and he's really damn good at it. That it allowed that opportunity to keep going. That the players will never play an inning of baseball with a salary cap. I believe that. I didn't 5 years ago. I just think is there a chance I'm wrong? Yes. Is my lifetime a long time? Maybe. I don't know.
I hope so.
There's a chance, right? We could have another 60 coming. Get hit by a bus tomorrow. Tonight. Zoinks. That maybe I'm very wrong with that. Here I am, just a guy. Started talking Yankees with my buddy, and now it turned into a whole deal. But the way that the players talk about it, I don't think we'll ever see an inning of baseball with a salary cap. So that all ties it back into Brother Jeff's article that if the Dodgers win, a lot of the owners that have been so gung-ho about getting a salary cap, mostly just from not wanting to spend money, that now if they think the Dodgers and the other six or seven big market teams that can really spend real money, if they think that they now have the competitive advantage of being able to spend enough money that they can make their team that much better, well, now those owners who don't want to spend the money and do want to compete and don't want to have their team be a laughingstock and don't just look at it as a business expense, well, now they're going to get louder and more aggressive. And look what the Dodgers are doing. And the owners are going to use this as a negotiating chip. And it'll be funny to see, like, what's the Dodgers' stance on this? Like, honestly, their owner's probably going to come out and say, yeah, give a cap. We don't give a cap. They might not say that. And if the Milwaukee Brewers win, that goes in the side of, well, hey, it looks like you don't need a cap because the Brewers just knocked off the big bad Dodgers. But if you're the players, isn't that bad news too? Because that means the team that only signed one free agent for $4 million can still go out and win. Feels like a lose-lose for the players. It feels like it's going to be a weird data point that gets talked about a lot in the upcoming labor negotiations. I've been a pretty big advocate, and Brother Jeff confirmed it when he hopped on Talking Baseball this year, that I don't think these are the labor negotiations that are going to go to war about and have a holdout and a strike. I think they want to figure out their new TV deal in 2020. Like 2028 is the year that MLB circled to do like their next, all their landmark stuff. It's kind of when all their TV deals end. Could we hear more about expansion by then? I would assume so.
Yeah, I think that's when Manfred's contract's up. So I think it's supposed to be just an all-around kind of changing of the guard at the league level.
That's like the next step. It's the next step. And by the way, the steps have been great. Baseball's in a great spot. Attendance is up. Viewership's up. John Boy Media's up to the moon. I haven't thought this labor negotiation was going to be the one. A lot of people were, but it kind of felt just like that's what people say every time. Every election is the most important election of our lifetime. That's been out there, and that's partially stolen from Russillo, so I'm gonna put that away / give my credit there. I haven't thought this one is going to be the one. If the Dodgers do win, that could add a little extra fuel, and like think about how these things go. They are going to grind it to the bone. It's probably going to lead up till spring training again. Like the way that both of these sides have been taught to negotiate, which I don't know if it's right. Like, it's lawyers that got taught by the same business school that it's like, push it as far to the deadline as you can, put the pressure on them. And then once you actually get to the deadline, that's when you start negotiating. I don't know. I'd like to think we could live in a rule where it's like, hey, this is what I want. What do you guys want?
You can talk before the last possible second.
How do we want to get this done? What's fair? Maybe we don't live in that society anymore. Maybe that's part of the problem. To negotiate, you kind of have to keep your chips until you don't. And put that on a shirt. That this could just be one more thing that leads to one more bad meeting, that leads to them not talking, that leads to things getting further apart. And it's crazy because that's a little bit of what Jeff talks about and a little bit where I started, that either team could win this series. It's still baseball being played on a field. It's just the point of when it comes to negotiating, they're going to use every little thing they possibly can. And this will be in the mix in a big way, especially if the Dodgers are the first team to repeat since the 2000 Yankees. So I'm excited to watch the way the Brewers have been navigating their pitching. Has been fun. They believe in a ton of guys in their bullpen. It was cool looking back. Excuse me, little burp. Pat Murphy, he only used one reliever in 3 of the 5 games, and that was Chad Patrick. In one of those games, he only threw 4 pitches. So the Brewers bullpen coming off an off day yesterday, and they had an off day before Game 5. Their bullpen is pretty set up and well-rested. You'd assume Mizorowski is out for this game. He threw 54. Otherwise, they should have full bullpen ready to go for Game 1. Freddie Peralta, kind of their dude, lined up for Game 1, and then you'd assume Mizorowski starts to get in the mix for those middle series, or could he throw an inning today? They can do whatever. I wouldn't say he's been Cora-esque navigating the bullpen, where it's kind of any button, any person, any time. But in a way, Mizorowski is a genuine X factor that Howie uses him, along with the other talented guys in that Milwaukee bullpen, is a fun story to watch. In their lineup, they have dudes. Churio. Someone called me out for saying it wrong. 21 years old, Yelly, former MVP. William Contreras, one of the best catchers in the game. Sal Frelick climbing the leaderboard of who he is in MLB. Andrew Vaughn feels like a video game character right now. It's like, okay, what is this? And Bryce Terang. I think I have one more kind of old guy baseball rant that I'll let out before doing a little bit of football. Had one of my bigger football Sundays. Still didn't feel like a football Sunday. I don't know. Baseball's still rolling. It was Sunday. I was tired. I was gonna sleep through the first part of Broncos Jets because I was like, I know how this game's gonna go. I was right. Didn't sleep very well. And then I was like, well, this is the one time the Broncos are going to be on at 9 a.m., so let's watch it. But last baseball rant is brought to you by Shopify. Shopify, the best place to start and grow a business, which is why we partner with them here at John Boy Media. It's true, man. Shopify, we go way back on the way back. That's kind of where we originally had our merch going, and we just retooled it all with Shopify, our new /line site, and them helping us out was a dream. We brought the ideas. Shopify brought the execution. So as you're shopping, our new launch, check out what Shopify can do for you. Life is really a home run when you have Shopify on your side. Shopify Sidekick. This is kind of the difference maker. They have a bunch of different tools you can use that can revolutionize the way you manage your business. You got an AI assistant in there, direct reports, editing images, content ideas. Shopify's got you covered for your next move. So if you want to be like us, start building your brand from the ground up, it's time to go over to Shopify. Start your trial today. Click the link in the description. Sign up for $1 per month trial. Shopify.com/bakers if you're ready to leave the amateurs and head on over to the big leagues. So This is a little old head, and I will let the people call me out if they need to, because I got called out by the people. The last game that the Brewers played was against the Chicago Cubs. They won that game 3-1. Were the last two games 3-1? They were. How do you like that? And all 4 runs that were scored in that game were solo home runs. William Contreras in the first, Suzuki matched in the second, Andrew Vaughn in the fourth, and Bryce Terang in the seventh. And something that we've been ranting and raving about, or I have specifically with the Blue Jays and the Brewers, is that they have a contact approach. It should be said Toronto a little more than Milwaukee has fully leaned into this, that this is who we are. Although, Milwaukee 22 in homers this year. The postseason, it's trended up. Milwaukee, 3rd in average, 2nd in on base, 3rd in runs, 2nd in stolen bases, where meanwhile Toronto, don't say that second T, 1st in batting average, 1st in on base, 4th in runs, 11th in homers. So during the season, Toronto was up there a little higher. Milwaukee this postseason has had the homer ball, which I don't want to critique, but I had kind of a crazy pills moment the other day thinking about this. Power is power, Game of Thrones, and how you swing a baseball bat. The first part of power has a correlation to contact. The first 2 home runs in that Milwaukee Cubs game by Suzuki and by Contreras, they were not home run swings. And if that's blowing your mind right now, I get it a little bit. I think if you followed ball for years, you get it. That it used to be put a good swing on the ball, hit the ball with the barrel, and sometimes you're going to run into home runs. Now we have a lot more guys trying to hit home runs. Contreras and Suzuki, who also really good baseball players all around, they both put really good swings on it. I believe Contreras got the same pitch back-to-back, fouled it straight back, and then hit it. Suzuki was an up-and-away fastball that, again, he would have loved a home run if it happened, but he was just trying to hit the ball hard. Both of those weren't home run uppercutish swings. It was hit the ball hard swings that left the ballpark. So it sounds ass backwards, like I'm calling myself out while doing this, but those home runs were not home run swings. They were almost contact swings that had power behind them that led to homer. So if that's confusing, I kind of get it. The Bryce Terang one, I believe that was a first pitch ambush where he had an I'm going to swing and try to hit a home run, which I think is the difference that baseball has been missing and is going to come back, that you're going to see it start trending, that more teams, instead of taking your A swing every count in 3-2 or 0-2 or 1-2, I think you're going to see more guys, hey, if you're 2-0 or 2-1 or 3-1, yeah, get off a big daddy hack. That's the opportunity. If you get the right one, you could change the game with that swing. If you lose that leverage in the count, I just think we've gone too far from trying to still get the home run result. I don't know. I'm still evolving it myself. I've allowed you permission to call me out in the comments, but that was something my old eyes saw from that game that people rightfully called out that I wanted to try to partially address. And maybe it sounds too much like BS, but it's something I partially believe in as of now. So go watch those games. We will be live streaming the early game tonight. We'll stay with Seattle-Toronto. No offense, LA and Milwaukee. We'll be streaming that tomorrow night. More so an opportunity for me to get home before 1 a.m. Still going to record from home, but just an opportunity to be at home. So that's nice. Let me chew through some football with you quick. By the way, if anyone listens to the football and maybe you're just baseball only, but you let the episode play now and then, and every now and then you listen, or you're just a sports person like me that really enjoys all sports, go back to the Wake and Jake when I was talking about Oregon versus Penn State and I was like, man, I kind of blew this one because I really like Oregon's head coach, Dan Lanning. Not a big Penn State James Franklin fan. Fast forward 3 weeks. How quickly did that change? From one of the favorites to win the national title to losing to two major underdogs that we haven't seen a team at that level lose to losing his job. Wild. That's a college football, Jolly Olive, Foolish Baseball video happening in live time. They faced a UCLA team that fired their head coach, that inspired their troops, that led to the first big upset. And then the next one, I think there was just too much blood in the water and an unraveling that crazy. What looked like Penn State's best chance to win a natty in years. Now everything has just unraveled before them. Let's see. The biggest kind of college football story from the weekend outside of James Franklin, the Hoosiers beat Oregon in Oregon. So where I'm giving Dan Lanning his flowers, Kurt Cignetti continues to rise and become a star, and there's a lot of Penn State rumors there. I think that guy is going to go to a big program. I'm sorry to our Indiana fans that are listening. Maybe they don't. If you're Indiana and you've never had a football program and you've got boosters there, pay that man. You've never seen this. I don't know who's going to come out of the woodwork, but pay this man now. If he will sign something, do it. You've never had this. You have a chance to build something that people never even dreamt of. Indiana football? What? But boy, Penn State is going to be lined up, and they're going to try to do everything to get this guy. A bunch of huge programs are, because from the Google Me to now, this guy just keeps winning. Oregon on the road. The Indiana football team is undefeated. Insane. They upped their talent level this year, and with apparently the way that dude can coach, pretty special. Red River rivalry, Texas, Oklahoma. I went to that game probably like a decade ago, 9 years ago. Texted my buddy Ed. He visited me in Dallas. We went to the game. We had a nice time. Texas won. It was the first time they've looked good this year. Arch Manning made a couple plays. Definitely want to see the next steps. It felt like Texas came together for the first time. And it felt like Arch, it was his first time not just playing horribly, which that's got to feel good, and everything he's heard and that whole storyline. I don't think Texas is done from this football season. Did I track anything else from the college games? USC beat Michigan. I think I'm good. I think I'm okay. That brings us to the NFL weekend, which, if you remember, was started on Thursday night by the G-Men. An amazing weekend for Giants fans, and mostly Justin Pennick. The Giants won a football game against the Eagles. They just straight up beat them. It wasn't LOL Eagles and Sirianni did this. The Giants won a football game. Their quarterback played pretty good, Jackson Dart, and their running back played great, Cam Scattaboo. Got Scattabooed in fantasy this week, but that's okay. Giants fans have earned this. It was cool. Sean Marash, the new co-host of Talking Giants, seeing him get emotional that the Giants won a football game against the Eagles. That was pretty cool. And if you haven't seen, Justin Pennick the next night has the perfect sit, the 15-inning Tigers-Mariners game. He sat the whole time. Didn't really notice until extras. And
barely even adjusted within the seat. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's crazy. We did a time lapse of it that went very viral. And basically all you see is his neck turn. It's insane.
Did he tell you the DM he got?
No.
Cliff notes on it or whatever, but somebody DM'd him. I had no idea who you are, but I have immense respect for you.
Look at that. That's all we're looking for in this society. I'll speed run a little bit. My Broncos and the Jets, they're 4-2, 13-11. Jets London game, Broncos coming off the Eagles game that they come back and win. I mean, one of the worst performances of all time by the New York Jets. So that's where their season is at, and that's where Giants fans are peacocking at 2-4 with a quarterback and a running back they like. That's kind of all you need. Because the Jets fans, that's so bad. That is so bad. Colts improved to 5-1. How do you like that? Daniel Jones, where did he come from? Chargers 4-2, last-minute drive against the Dolphins as McDaniels looks to be maybe the next coach fired after Tennessee fired their coach today because, boy, do they look awful. Patriots are 4-2. If you've got annoying Boston fans in your life, watch out. Drake May is happening in live time. The Steelers are 4-1 because obviously they are. Mike Tomlin just does that. Rodgers is doing everything to not get hit, and guess what? That's smart because he's in his 40s playing in the NFL. Tomlin had a savage quote after the game. They asked him about the Browns trading Flacco, and he said, well, that GM must be a lot smarter than me because I don't know why they would do that. Face. Panthers, in this house we love Bryce Young, gave him the spot start in fantasy, did good, and they beat the Cowboys. Panthers are 3-3. Seahawks, Jag, your all Madden game. Seahawks won 20-12, 4-2. Both these teams are now 4-2. Give K9 the ball more. JSN is the standout from this game, 162 through the air. Rams, Ravens, 17-3. Rams are 4-2. Ravens are 1-5, 3 points. Cooper Rush slinging the pill for them. Something about his orange doesn't go well with the purple and black. Just being honest, I'm sorry. Raiders beat the Titans. Titans fired their coach. Not much else to be had there. Packers are now 3-1-1, 3-0 at home after they beat the Bungles. We're in a tough spot. Baker Mayfield MVP hype season. They beat the Niners 30-19. The Niners have lost so many star players. Purdy, Kittle, Fred Warner goes down. Bosa. Crazy that they're 4-2 right now. They are after the loss to the Buccaneers. And then the nightcap. Got another against the spread league pick right because this didn't add up. The Lions going to Kansas City. The Lions were 4-1. They've looked fantastic. The Chiefs were 2-3, and they had not looked fantastic. Their 2 wins were not against good teams. The Chiefs in Kansas City, to be fair, favored by 2.5. They win by 13. They end up playing a nice game. Mahomes, 3 tutties and looking pretty good out there. That there's still a lot of football season left. That extra game in the NFL changes everything. Like, even looking at my fantasy schedule is like, wait, there's another week of regular season? Kind of makes things crazy. I'll be honest, it's obviously been a lot of baseball. We got our teeth into football. We're going to get further into it, especially we're down to 2 series, people. I guess 3 series total. But there's 2 series right now. We will be updating you. Might send the Bailey text. I don't know. Make sure you're subscribed. We love you. Let's go sports.